Before I get started with this story, let me give a shout out to Zarp on Twitter for tagging me in this post. And this is like, I guess you could say, a breaking news story. Mainly because I didn't even know this was going on. So in case y'all don't know, this is Josh Duggar. He was mainly famous for being on that show with his wife and all those children. But now he's more known for being a creep because he was on trial for possession of child videos. Like I said, that's how we just gonna label it over here. But like I told Zarp, I didn't even know he was on trial. I didn't even know there was a trial. Like they literally went hush hush with Josh Duggar and his situation. Now I remember they had talked about it a while ago, but according to Zarp, he went to trial last week. They ended in a week. It was a pretty fast trial, and he's already been found guilty of the charges that he has been hit with. And according to Zarp, he and his wife just had another child a few months ago. Like a constant growing of this tree. I don't know how many kids they have, but I think they have about 10 or more together. But let me go ahead and get into the story. And this is coming out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. On the final day of the Josh Duggar child video trial, the jury found Duggar guilty on both charges of receipt of child videos and possession of child videos. Duggar faces up to 20 years in prison and fines of up to $250,000 for each count. Judge Timothy Brooks announced that sentencing will happen in about 4 months. Duggar was taken into custody after the verdict was announced. Defense attorney Justin Gelfand said after the verdict that they plan to appeal. Closing arguments began the morning of December 8th, and the verdict was reached on December 9th after just under 7 hours of deliberation. The trial lasted 6 days, and saw 2 witnesses called for the defense, while 10 witnesses took the stand for the prosecution. The defense's witnesses were digital forensic expert Michelle Bush and Daniel Wilcox, a former Homeland Security Investigations Task Force manager and Rogers Police Department narcotics officer. The prosecution called 10 witnesses, including Jim and Bobby Holt, who said they were friends with the Duggar family. Bobby Holt said during her testimony that Josh confessed to her about messing with young girls when he was a teenager. Duggar was arrested on April 29, 2021. He was released from police custody to a third-party custodian on May 5, 2021. Duggar starred in TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, so way over 10 kids. I think they had 20 now with this new one, which has not aired since 2015. TLC pulled the reality TV show in 2015 over accusations that Duggar had messed with 4 of his sisters and a babysitter. In 2015, Duggar publicly apologized for his video addiction and cheating on his wife, calling himself the biggest hypocrite ever. Duggar's trial is happening as his father, Jim Bob Duggar, runs in a special election for vacant state Senate seat in Northwest Arkansas. Jim Bob Duggar was also featured prominently on the TLC show and previously served in the Arkansas House. Jim Bob Duggar is one of 4 Republicans seeking the party's nomination. Early voting began Tuesday, December 7th, and the primary is set for December 14th. Like I said, they kept this trial extremely quiet. Because you got to think, the only trials we ever heard about in the last couple of weeks was Kyle Rittenhouse, the McMichaels, and that other one, and Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jussie Smollett. This one stayed very quiet. And what came out about him was a big deal at the time, especially since they were a reality TV show stars, if you want to call it that. And this guy out here messing with people in and outside of his family who are minors. This guy is sick. This guy is absolutely sick in more ways than one. But notice they said up to 20 years in prison. Whenever we hear the terms up to, that doesn't mean that they're going to get the full 20. And honestly, he should get way more than 20 years for what he did. Now, Zarp wrote into the comment section outside of the article, he said that the trial was short, which we established. He said it started last week and ended today with a guilty verdict, which we now know. And he said he's facing 40 years in prison, but the article didn't state that he faces 40 years in prison unless they left that part out. And it says 20 years on each count. And he mentions about him and his wife having a baby back in March. This guy's trash. And look at his mugshot. He's smirking in it. I don't know why. I don't know if he just got done doing some hard narcotics or whatever, and he's feeling good right now or in that moment. But this guy is smiling. He is smirking in his mugshot. Almost as if he doesn't feel a thing about what he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he did or if he didn't. But yeah, like I said, they kept this trial very quiet. Because like I said, the first response that I had to this was, I didn't even know he was on trial. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know he was in jail. But that's how quiet they kept it. And I bet you when he goes and has his sentencing done in 4 months, that's going to be quiet too. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.